Hey, Vikings Nation. Skol vibes only. The NFC North is heating up, and the latest buzz out of Detroit has our purple hearts pounding with excitement. The Lions, our biggest rivals, are already hit with a brutal injury blow, and it's got us dreaming of a Minnesota Vikings takeover in 2025. Could this be the year we finally dethrone the Lions and claim the division? Stick with me as we unpack this game-changing news. Last season, the Lions roared to a 15-win regular season, but their defense was battered by injuries, and it cost them a Super Bowl shot. Meanwhile, our Vikings were no slouches, racking up 14 wins but falling just short in Week 18 against a depleted Detroit squad. That loss stung, dropping us to a wild-card spot. But now, with fresh injury news out of Detroit, the path to the top of the NFC North is looking a little clearer for our boys in purple. So what's the deal? Detroit's head coach Dan Campbell dropped a bombshell on Sunday, and it's got the whole NFL talking. Are these injuries enough to give the Vikings the edge? Let's dive into the details and see how this could set the stage for a Minnesota Vikings championship run in 2025. Skol. Hold on to your horns, Vikings fans, because the Lions' defensive line just took a massive hit. Detroit's Levi Onwuzurike, a key piece of their front, is out for the entire 2025 season with a torn ACL. This guy was a beast last year, starting 10 games, racking up 28 tackles, 22 pressures, 13 QB hits, 1.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. That's a huge loss for a team that leans heavily on its defensive front. Onwuzurike isn't just a depth player. He was a top 15 interior lineman in pressures and pass rush win rate last season, according to Pro Football Focus. Without him, the Lions' ability to pressure quarterbacks like our own J.J. McCarthy could take a serious hit. Imagine our offensive line, led by Christian Darrisaw, bulldozing through a weakened Detroit front. Can you feel the momentum shifting already? But here's the question, Vikings Nation. Can we capitalize on this? Last year, we had a golden opportunity in Week 18 to beat a banged-up Lions team and snag the NFC's #1 seed. But we came up short. What's it going to take for our Vikings to seize this moment in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The Lions' injury woes don't stop with Onwuzurike, and this is where things get really interesting for Vikings news fans. Detroit's Alim McNeill, another cornerstone of their defensive line, is still rehabbing a torn ACL from December 2024. This guy's a force in the middle, and his absence could leave a gaping hole in Detroit's run defense. Picture Aaron Jones breaking loose for big gains against a depleted Lions front. McNeill's recovery timeline is murky, with reports suggesting he might miss most of the 2025 season. That's a massive blow for a team that's already scrambling to replace Onwuzurike. The Lions are banking on rookie Tyleik Williams and depth players like Broderick Martin to step up, but can they fill the void left by two-star defensive tackles? I'm not so sure, and I bet Vikings fans are grinning ear to ear right now. So what does this mean for our Vikings? A weaker Lions defense could give our explosive offense, led by Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson, more room to shine. But we've got to stay sharp. What's your take, Skol Nation? Can our offense exploit this opportunity? Let's hear it. Now let's talk about the Lions' star edge rusher, Aiden Hutchinson. This guy's a game wrecker, but he's coming off a gruesome leg injury from October 2024, a broken tibia and fibula. Hutchinson was leading the NFL in sacks before he went down, and while he's been cleared for training camp, there's no guarantee he'll be back to his dominant self by Week 1. That's huge news for Vikings news followers. Hutchinson's injury forced the Lions to lean on guys like Josh Paschal and James Houston last season. With mixed results, our Vikings faced a Hutchinson-less Lions team in Week 18 and still couldn't pull off the win. That's a reminder that we can't just rely on Detroit's injuries. We need to bring our A-game. Imagine Hutchinson at 80% trying to chase down J.J. McCarthy. Could that be our chance to strike? Here's where you come in, Vikings fans. Do you think Hutchinson's recovery will slow him down enough for us to dominate? Or is he still a threat we need to game plan for? Hit the comments and let's debate this one. The Lions' injury bug isn't just biting their defense. Their offense is taking a hit too. Wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the NFL's top pass catchers, had knee surgery earlier this year. He's expected to be back for the season, but any lingering issues could hamper Detroit's high-powered offense. Vikings news fans, this is another crack in the Lions' armor we could exploit. St. Brown hauled in 119 catches for 1,515 yards and 10 touchdowns last season. So a less than 100% version of him could be a game-changer for our secondary. Picture Brian Flores scheming up ways to double-team St. Brown with Josh Metellus and Harrison Smith. If we can neutralize him, Jared Goff might struggle to find his rhythm. Doesn't that get you pumped? But let's keep it real, Vikings Nation. Our secondary needs to step up big time to take advantage of this. What's your confidence level in our DBs against a potentially hobbled St. Brown? Sound off below. Let's rewind to last season for a second, because it's a lesson we can't ignore. In 2024, the Lions were crushed by defensive injuries, with Hutchinson, McNeil, and others hitting the IR. Despite that, they still went 15-2 and beat our Vikings in Week 18 to steal the NFC's #1 seed. That loss left Minnesota as a 14-win wildcard team, and it still stings, doesn't it? The Vikings had every chance to capitalize on Detroit's injuries last year, but we couldn't close the deal. Our offense, led by Sam Darnold, put up a fight, but Detroit's depth and resilience pulled them through. It's a reminder that injuries alone won't hand us the division. We need to execute. How do you think we can avoid a repeat of that Week 18 heartbreak? Skol Nation, this is where we rally. What adjustments do Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores need to make to ensure we beat a banged-up Lions team in 2025? Drop your game plan in the comments. Now, let's look at the bigger picture for the Vikings in 2025. The NFC North is a gauntlet, with the Lions, Packers, and Bears all vying for the top spot. But with Detroit's injuries piling up, PFF projects the Lions to win 10.1 games, while our Vikings are pegged at 8.4. That's close enough for us to flip the script, especially with J.J. McCarthy stepping in as our QB1. McCarthy's growth is key. Kevin O'Connell recently told ESPN's Kevin Seifert that J.J.'s 2024 prep work has him ready to take the reins in 2025. Pair that with Justin Jefferson, who an AFC exec called the best route runner in the league, and we've got a lethal combo. Can you imagine JJ slinging it to JJ for a game-winning TD against Detroit? I'm getting chills. Vikings fans, are you buying the hype around McCarthy? Can he lead us to a division title in his first year as a starter? Let's hear your predictions in the comments. Let's not get too comfortable, though. The Lions are still a talented team, even with their injuries. Jared Goff had an MVP-caliber season in 2024, finishing second in yards per attempt, 8.6, and completion percentage. Their running game, led by Jahmyr Gibbs, 1,412 yards, 16 TDs, is no joke either. We can't just assume Detroit will crumble. Our Vikings need to bring their A game, especially on defense. Brian Flores' unit was a top 10 scoring defense last year, but we struggled to contain Gibbs and St. Brown in Week 18. If we want to take advantage of Detroit's injuries, we need guys like Jonathan Bullard and Josh Metellus to step up. What's your take on our defense, Skol Nation? How do we stop Gibbs and Goff, even with a depleted Lions roster? Drop your defensive strategies in the comments, and let's build the perfect game plan. The Vikings' offseason moves could be the X factor in 2025. GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah made some savvy additions, like signing veteran D. Jonathan Bullard and drafting rookie T. Gavin Bartholomew. Bullard's experience could help plug the gaps against Detroit's run game, while Bartholomew adds depth to our offense. But there's a catch. Both Bartholomew and OLB Chaz Chambliss are on the PUP list to start camp. On the flip side, our core is rock solid. Justin Jefferson, fresh off another 1,400-yard season, is ready to torch defenses. Jordan Addison, despite his DUI case resolution, is poised for a bounce-back year after pleading to a lesser charge. The NFL might still slap him with a suspension, but he's a playmaker we can count on. What's your vibe on our offensive weapons? Vikings Nation, who's the key player we need to step up to beat the Lions? Is it Addison, Jefferson, or someone else? Let's talk it out in the comments. All right, Skol Nation, It's time to wrap this up with a battle cry. The Lions' injuries. Onwuzurike out, McNeil and Hutchinson recovering, St. Brown banged up. Give our Vikings a real shot to reclaim the NFC North in 2025. But we've got to seize this moment, unlike last year's Week 18 letdown. With J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, and a fierce defense under Brian Flores, the stage is set for a purple reign. So, what's it going to take to beat Detroit and hoist that division title? I want to hear your bold predictions, your game plans, and your Skol chants in the comments. Let's get this video to every Vikings fan out there. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with your fellow Purple Warriors. Skol Vikings. Let's make 2025 our year. Who's with me? Drop a Skol in the comments and let's ride to the Super Bowl together.